So welcome once again to the Coffee and Heroes YouTube channel. What today is going to be is the start of what I think will be a new feature firing up on the YouTube channel. As a comic collector myself, obviously a store owner, but also a collector, I'm constantly sourcing out new stuff, whether it be titles people have recommended to me, whether it be completing long runs of comics, for the personal collection. And a lot of time it's just sourcing stuff for the store as well. So we essentially get tons of deliveries all the time. And I thought what would actually be fun is to do a little bit of an unboxing video every so often, just to show you the kind of stuff we get in. Now, the interesting thing about it is that sometimes I order so much stuff, I even forget what I order. Usually if it's stuff for the personal collection, I just maybe order it on a whim, and then obviously at the moment with the lockdown in effect and so forth, things can take a little longer. Things turn up where you sort of think to yourself, well, totally forgot that I ordered that. So today I actually received 5 new boxes. So I thought it'd just be fun just to do a little bit of an unboxing video. If it's stuff for the store, it gives you a sense of what we've got ordered in, what's going to be available once we get properly open again. Or it might just be for my personal collection, and then you get a little bit of an insight into the stuff I enjoy anyway. So got 2 slightly bigger boxes, 3 smaller boxes. I have an inkling what's in most of them, but again, 100% I can't remember all the time. So I'm going to kick off with this bad boy. Knife close by, be responsible kids. So always cut away, as my mother and father always taught me. So yeah, this one's quite a heavy box, and I have a feeling it is some new graphic novels for the store. But again, I'm not 100% sure because stuff all the time. So put that back down there nice and safe. So what do we got? Yes indeed. So these are some graphic novels that I've sourced for the store. Some of my own personal favourite titles that are going to be back on the shelves for reopening. I think there's a heavy emphasis on indie from what I remember. So yeah, kick things off. Afterlife with Archie. If you like horror, if you like Riverdale, brilliant mix of the two. This is essentially The Walking Dead, but in Riverdale. Really can't recommend that highly enough. That is part of the personal collection as well. What else we got? We got a couple of Ed Brubaker titles and Sean Phillips. They're a team that have been working together all the time on things like Criminal. Fatale is another great one, which is all about a femme fatale who has lived for centuries, and how she's been able to manipulate men through time. Again, part of the personal collection. You may see a bit of a theme here. What else have we got? We've also got another Ed Brubaker Sean Phillips joint. This is The Fade Out. 3 volumes to this one. This is to do with the murder of a starlet in 1940s Hollywood. Great title. Only 15 issues, or in this case 3 trades. Really highly recommend that. That's the kind of title that I would recommend to people who are maybe not into comics quite so much, because it's just really good storytelling, and it's not superheroes just punching each other in the face. So really highly recommend that one. What else we got? We've got a little bit of Thanos love. Always trying to bump up the Marvel section in store. I sometimes get accused of focusing more on the DC stuff, so I'm really trying to get more Marvel stuff in the store as well. So this was the start of a run kicked off by Jeff Lemire and Mike Deodato. Ultimately, Donny Cates took over this run and introduced the Cosmic Ghost Rider. But the run itself, which I believe is 18 issues or 3 trades, kicks off with this one, which is called Thanos Returns, and that's Jeff Lemire and Mike Deodato. What else have we got? We've got Extremity. So Extremity is a title that I personally have not read. It is an Image title. The reason I ordered this in is it's a Daniel Warren Johnson creator-owned title, and he's a guy that I'm really digging at the moment with what he's done with Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. Really unique artist, really good world builder. So that's going to end up on the shelves, or maybe that'll end up on my personal collection. I haven't quite decided yet. What else we got? We got Sex Criminals. Anyone who has followed the store or listens to the podcast so forth knows that the artist of this, Chip Zdarsky, who's obviously a brilliant writer in his own right as well, certainly the stuff he's doing through Marvel. This was the creator-owned title that put him in the map. He drew and Matt Fraction wrote. Sex Criminals is wonderful. It's so weird and surreal and funny, and It is very much an adult title though, so don't be letting the kids near that one. So that is Sex Criminals. What else have we got? We've got a lot of volumes of Manhattan Project. Manhattan Project is another one that I haven't personally read. The reason, again, I've got this one in, I always advise people follow creators rather than, you know, following titles, so to speak, or following characters. Always follow the creative teams. And with this one, this is Jonathan Hickman. And this is a series that went on for quite a long time. I believe 30 plus issues at least. You know, it doesn't really give you much of an intro in the back. It just simply says science, bad. So yeah, we got 6 volumes of that. Again, it is one that I do have to tuck into myself at some point. What else have we got? Just get a wee bit of bubble wrap out of there. We've got another long run in here. This is actually the end of what's in the box. And again, I continue to tell the same advice all the time. We are following creators rather than titles. What we have here is The Wicked and the Divine. The Wicked and Divine is by Kieran Gillen. Kieran Gillen, again, is another writer that we highly enjoy his work at the moment. Between doing Once and Future, between doing Die, everything he does just seems to be gold. Again, I've never read Wicked and Divine, so this is one this might go into the personal collection, or it might end up in the shelves. Who knows? But the crux of this one is every 90 years, 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years, they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. You know, it's to give you an insight into the praise for this book. The guys on the back who have, you know, give a little soundbite for it. Scott Snyder said stuff. Jared Way, therefore you'll want this, Stephen. Douglas Wolk, Tom Ewing. Yeah, I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, and it's a title that recently finished, so it'd be a good time to get into it. You know, I am sometimes a little wary of recommending indie titles to people if they're ongoing series, because for one, you don't know when it's going to end. You don't know if it's going to end satisfyingly. You don't know if there's going to be long delays or breaks, that kind of thing. But the likes of Manhattan Projects there, Wicked and Divine, Fatal, The Fade Out, those are all self-contained series that have all finished. Whereas Sex Criminals still has another couple of issues to go. It's going to end at 30 issues, and the most recent one was 28. So once it hits 30 again, I'll be pushing that a little more because it is one of my personal favourite titles. So that was a box 1. What else we got? Let's go for a smaller one. Just feels like Christmas every time here. Anytime I see a postman come up our street, it's nearly always for us. Or when they come into Smithfield when we're actually open, it's usually for us as well. So what else we got here? I've got a feeling these next couple might just be for the personal collection. And oh yes, that is definitely for the personal collection. This will be something that will make Keith happy as well, as he recently borrowed the first edition. We have Chew. So this is the Smorgasbord edition. Anyone who knows me, I said it in the last YouTube video, I said it in the podcast all the time, I'm a big fan of absolute editions. I'm a big fan of these giant, deluxe, oversized, premium editions for titles. Now, absolute is a moniker that DC has copyrighted, so it can only really be called an absolute edition with DC. But Image have been doing ones that are essentially the same size, same idea, you know, thick cardboard sleeve for it, oversized artwork. They just give them different names every time. So in this case with Chew, they call them the Smorgasbord edition. So this is volume 2. I believe there are 3 of these in total, which will cover the whole 60 issues of Chew. If you haven't got into Chew, I really can't recommend it enough. I've got the number 1 over there, framed and on the wall. I've got all the single issues. I've bought all the trades before. But now I'm moving on to the absolutes. You know, you almost continue to show your support for certain titles by buying these new editions. But the other thing, and again I'm repeating myself here, but the other thing is as well, when you buy an absolute edition or one of these big massive deluxe editions, you never should need to buy another edition again, because they've blown up the artwork. They have, you know, used a really great paper stock for it. Just premium, everything about it. So it is. So this one looks suspiciously absolute sized as well. So what have we got this time? Yep, another one for the personal collection. Sorry guys. So what we have here is Sandman. So Sandman is something that I have never read. Oh, for shame. Sandman is consistently heralded as one of the best examples of the genre of comic books. It's seen as a mature title. It's massively critically acclaimed. And again, what I was saying about the likes of, the Fade Out and stuff like that, Sandman is consistently one of those titles that if you've never read comics, people say, oh, if you think comics are just superheroes, read Sandman. Sandman I've never read. So I just thought I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to jump in at the deep end with the absolutes. Sourcing single issues be a bit more pricey because it's an older title, that kind of thing. So what we have here is the Absolute Sandman Volume 2. And I mean, just look at that binding. Just screams glorious. So yeah, Absolute Sandman Volume 2. And this one also is suspiciously absolute shaped. You may have noticed a pattern here. I'm nothing if not predictable sometimes, but hey ho. So yeah, let's finish up with this. Going against my own advice of away from me, but there you go. What we have here is a box within a box. And again, a suspiciously sized absolute box. So what we've got here is, you may have guessed, the Absolute Sandman, but this one is volume 1. So yeah, so I indulged in the first 2 volumes. I believe there's 6 or 7 of these. The Absolute Sandman, so volume 1, this reprints issues 1 to 20. Features all new colouring as well. This is something else they do in Absolute editions. They'll sometimes go back and touch up the art a little bit, or when it was originally printed, it was on lower grade paper, so the colours maybe didn't pop as much as they would in the modern stuff. So what they've done here, so Absolute Sandman reprints issues 1 to 20, features all new colouring on issues 1 to 18. It also includes a full reproduction of Gaiman's original proposal for the series, so essentially his pitch for Sandman to DC Vertigo. It also includes the complete script and pencils by Gaiman and Charles Vess for the World Fantasy Award-winning story A Midsummer Night's Dream from Sandman number 19, as well as afterwards by Gaiman and a gallery of character design sketches showing the evolution of Dream of the Endless. Yeah, so I am really looking forward to getting tucked into this at the moment. There's not a lot of great critically acclaimed series that I haven't read. I have done my best to make sure you read up on all the classics, so to speak, but Sandman is one of those gaps, and it's time to fill that gap. So same again, glorious Absolute edition, glorious binding, really looking forward to tucking into those. The other thing I'll say about Absolutes as well, just for those who are interested in these editions, you're not reading these in your lap. They are heavy tomes. You're best sitting at a reading table, nice cup of coffee, of course, and I would personally put on a bit of like movie scores or something like that, just a little bit of mood music, not with lyrics, because I think lyrics distract you when you're trying to read, but that's just me. So yeah, a good Hans Zimmer score or something like that be perfect for that. So as I say, those 3 Absolute / Smorgasbord editions are all for the personal collection. But we do have one more box. This one, sort of Absolute shape, definitely a repurposed box, an Amazon box, but definitely not from Amazon. So let's have a look here. Let's go back to my original advice of slicing away from me, away from the body. And what do we got this time? So we have this time are a big collection of single issues that have been sourced. These are for the store. Now, again, anyone who knows me, I'm a big Batman fan. So this whole box is Batman related. Always be one of the best sellers in stores, one of the characters people most identify with. So what I've got for you here, first of all, is, let's just set this to the side. So we've got all 9 issues of All-Star Batman and Robin. All-Star Batman and Robin is written by Frank Miller, he of Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One. It is drawn by Jim Lee, he of Hush, and pretty much everything Jim Lee draws turns to gold. All-Star Batman and Robin is an interesting one because it seems to be a very, very polarizing series. It's a very adult-oriented take on Batman. It is very much an adult take. This is not the Batman of Batman 66 or anything like that. This is very much Batman who is Batman who's unhinged. This is Batman who is clearly not a rational thinking human being. I mean, there's a part in this where, you know, Batman sees Robin's parents killed and he instantly takes the boy away from it and says he's going to train him and raise him and all this kind of stuff. But what he first does is he actually throws him into the Batcave for 2 days and says survive. You know, it's sort of tough love. A lot of people had real problems with that. I personally liked that it was a different take on the character. It's by no means definitive or exhaustive, but it's a beautiful looking book. It is a different interpretation of Batman, and if you think about it, any rich millionaire who dresses up like a bat, to paraphrase, you know, Christian Bale in Batman Begins, clearly has issues. So I can understand the idea or the clamour for an unhinged Batman, and therefore I really recommend that series. It was just 9 issues long, but really, really great. What else have we got? We've got Batman 457 from the original Volume 1 run. This is sort of a minor key issue. This is an issue that Tim Drake is given the new Robin costume. He has become the new Robin after, you know, Dick Grayson's grown up and become Nightwing, and Jason Todd was unfortunately killed in Death in the Family. So this is sort of the reveal of the new costume, hence this cover where he is in the shadow in the window frame there. So a bit of a minor key, but you know, great issue nonetheless from December 1990. What else have we got? We've got 6 issues from Batman Volume 1, issues 620 to 625. This is a 6-issue story arc called Broken City. This is one that I really enjoy because of the creative team. There I am with creative teams again. Written by Brian Azzarello, art by Eduardo Rizzo. Those guys collaborated to create 100 Bullets, which is a fantastic series, which I highly, highly recommend. 100 Bullets, 100 issues. I think it's 12, or no, it's 13 trades off the top of my head. But this is the only time they ever collaborated on a Batman story. And it just works really, really well. Very highly Penguin based, which is maybe a character that you don't see an awful lot in the sort of main Batman run. You know, I think there's a lot of an obsession with obviously Joker stories, with creators wanting to, you know, bring their own villains to the mix. So you had Court of Owls with Schneider, and you have this upcoming Punchline with and the Designer with James Tynion. So Penguin, I think, is an underutilized one, but there's also appearances in this one from Scarface as well. And of course, Joker will turn up at some point, but you always seem to have Joker in a Batman story. And then what else we got? Then we got a nice long, healthy run of Batman Volume 1. This is a part of the Batman run that I don't really recommend for first-time readers of Batman. But if you're familiar with the character and familiar with the mythology and the history, Grant Morrison's run is superb. He introduces Damian Wayne. He introduces Ra's al Ghul into the equation a lot. He has, it's just a brilliant storyline. You know, the Black Glove Corporation who are against Batman. It all leads to Batman R.I.P., which was, believe it or not, on the 6 o'clock news at the time, I seem to remember. But yeah, so a really good long run here. You can see here, this is some of the first introductions Damian's having with his father, you know, obviously enjoying getting to know him. And then you've got a nice little run of the Batman Grant Morrison stuff here. Just look at those covers, absolutely gorgeous. This is what I was talking about with the Black Glove coming in, you know, and then Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul comes across, and then you're getting into, you know, you're sort of coming to the end of Batman Volume 1 here. Batman Volume 1 ended on issue 713 and then got rebranded as the New 52 with, you know, Scott Snyder and everything else. So this is sort of the winding down of the Batman Volume 1 series. But yeah, just beautiful art. You know, Tony Daniel comes on and then does the Batman R.I.P. arc with them as well. So yeah, it's a little bit of an insight of some of the stuff we've been ordering and getting into stock in preparation for the store opening again. I have no doubt that I have many more things ordered as well, and I will happily do a few unboxing videos and give you guys a little bit of an insight into stuff we're getting into the store. We're still waiting on a bit of news, you know, in terms of when we can hopefully get back in to Smithfield and get properly open. But just know that we are working really hard behind the scenes and making sure that when we do reopen, the store is going to be better than ever. So hope you guys are all staying safe out there. Hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. And I look forward to seeing you all in the store when this is all over. So stay safe and take it easy. Now, Sandman Volume 1. Let's have a wee look here.